Okay, welcome to everybody. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to Phantom Studio. Yes, for this Phantom School by G66. Thank you to G66, to all friends. Thank you to everybody. Okay, so Slavic from Poland. It is correct. Massimo Romagnoli, ciao. This evening, this tutorial is in English. My English, sorry for my English, but okay, it's better than Italian from some people, I think. Yes, okay. Thank you, Slavic. Roberto Marzulli, ciao Roberto. Alberto Ziliotto, ciao Alberto. Riccardo Barba, Andrea Murazzi, ciao a tutti. Riccardo Barba, Massimo Romagnoli. Okay, perfect. So this evening will be in English, but I think it is pretty understandable for everybody because my English is not native. This session I will share with you some of my experience to prepare my guitar rig with Fractal, but not only with Fractal. I think this session could be useful also for other devices and also for the analog, because I use the same philosophy that I used in the past with my analog devices, and I convert the same concept into the digital world. I can speak about the virtualizations of analog world into the digital world, but the concept itself, to me, is the same. Of course, there are much more flexibility, but the concept is the same. Davide Mangia, Tommy Gas, hi everybody. So let's start with the session. I will share with you. So close the chat because otherwise I cannot share with you all the screen regarding the patch. Okay, so this is it is a new patch. I called chemic because there are some very interesting things that you can grab and apply to your system. First of all, I want to show you the rig, the composition of the rig, where you can see the amp. The amp, it is in the amp and cabinet is pretty in the middle position. Then you have the ambient effects. To me, ambient means delay, reverb, and also chorus. I prefer the chorus after the cabinets because I like to use the stereo effects of chorus. And also there is a pan tremolo because I use this effect to emphasize the stereo wide effect. I will show you later on. But these are only effects. Main things is the amp and the cabinet, input and output. Then I have a phaser. Okay, I have a drive before the amp. I have a compressor. Compressor is always the first effect that I put just close to the guitar. And then I have this solution. It's pretty interesting. To use volume, the volume pedal to control the volume and the wah with the same pedal. I'm using the EV2 pedal, or EV1 is the same, connected to the pedal 1, the Fractal of the Fractal FM3, or the same concept can be used also with Axe FX3. There is no difference. Okay, if you have some question regarding this, you can put your question in Italian or English, doesn't matter. I always answer in English. Okay, so when I prepare my rig for live. Typically tomorrow evening I will have a new live gig. I use only one preset. Why? Because I think in the same way of the real world. In the real world, I have only one amp, one cabinet, microphone is the same. So this is fixed. In the amp, I could have different channels, okay, clean channels, crunch, lead. Then I have reverb, not so much, delay, chorus, in the same position that you have seen. Sometimes I have a compressor, drive or not drive, depends of the sound. But typically the rig is that. I have no possibility to change the amp or change completely the composition of the rig. And I like and I love to use the same concept also on my live, because at the end I use typically three main sounds: the clean, the crunch, and lead. And sometimes I have some effects over these sounds. Typically I have a delay on the lead, a bit of delay and a bit of reverb on crunch. Clean, I could have the dry clean or wet clean. Wet clean, that means with chorus, with long delays, with huge reverb, and so on. This is typically my rig when I play in my Toto tribute band, but I think that it is most popular for use with pop music and most of the music. But of course, you can do what you want. This is only my approach to my music, and I want only to share with you this information. Andrea Morazzi, usually the phaser is always before the amp. Yes, sometimes not, because if you want to use the stereo phaser, you have to use after the amp. We will check. Also tremolo usually is before the amp. But in the digital world, because you can use, and I always use stereo, you can also use this effect, also flanger, after the amp. Of course, the effect on the distortion, on the clean is pretty similar, but on the distortion sounds change a lot to put the phaser and flanger before or after the amp. But okay, it is up to you. It is a matter of your creativity and your sounds. Your sounds is not a fixed element. Sounds is very is totally flexible to your creativity, to the genre, to the music, and there are no fixed rules for me. There are only some very fixed point, but to me, nothing's fixed in the sound, because every news, the pioneers says that nothing's fixed. Everything has to be discovered, and for this reason, I would like to say that nothing is fixed, and it is to me it is important that you do your experience, you do your you try, even because on the digital world it's pretty easy to put the effects every you want. You have you don't need to disconnect cables, and of course you don't risk anything. If you only need to take care to save your preset before you have you make your modification. This is absolutely mandatory. Otherwise, you lose your original presets. But after that, you can do what you want without damage anything in the digital, and this is a very big advantage. So let's start from the beginning. So I share with you again the preset, and the first thing is, because this is my last preset, as I told you, I start again, and with a new, I save to the new preset number, okay, to an empty slot. Okay, this is really important. It's really important because you can compare you you can compare your new preset with the old one, and this is important. I call him MF Chemic New. Okay, and this is the first thing I think is really important to do before to start to do your experiments. Okay, so let's start. Let's start from the clean sound. I have my guitar here. I always start from the clean sound. My typical clean sound, it is a shiver clean. To me, is one of the best clean sound. With the okay, this is the rig with only amp, cabinets, and reverb, and this is the sound. I think it's really important to start from a very good and very nice clean sound. Clean sound is the base of your sound, and it is really important that you take care about it. About reverb, I suggest you to take care also to the quantity of the mix, to the level of the mixer, because too much reverb can create, let's say, in the image of the band, the reverb put your you create a distance from the people that are looking you, and this is you have to take care of this. Less reverb means much more focus on your sound, so you have to tweak with the reverb, and later on I will show you how it's possible during the live to have immediately the control of the reverb mix, and you can check and use it as you want without to enter in the layout and so on and so on. So let's start with okay, I can decrease a bit the reverb, only to create a wet ambient, but because without reverb is very bad. This is very bad, but a bit of reverb. About the clean sound, usually I like to use the more drive and to set up my clean at the limit of the crunch, and this is depends of how much you pick on the strings. Is on the limit. I can make a distortion. Depends of how much you play. This is to get much more dynamic of the clean sound. Okay, and also in this case I enable the booster of the amp. To get more distortion, because I always use the compressor in front of the clean sound. Compressor to me is very important to prevent the high peak of the sound, and this is very bad for the sound engineer that work on the mixer. And to use the compressor give you much more organic sound, increase the sustain, but decrease and reduce the peak of the guitar when you play strong. So when you put your guitar into the mixer, you have not so high peaks, and this is a problem for the sound engineering. And also increase the sustain. Okay. Question from Tommy Gas. Marco, is it okay to have the amp level could be minus 25, minus 28 to get the output fine, clean sound? Amp level, you mean? No, usually when you set up the level of your sounds, it's very useful to use the, I show you immediately, just a moment, what is this? Okay, this is the, okay, you can use the tool preset leveling. Okay, this is very useful. When you play, I play a bit over the 0 dB. This is to me is the best level. So you have to check the amp level. This knob is the same of this knob, guys. This knob, 14.3, 40.3 here. Don't touch the master volume as you do in the in your analog amp. The master, in this case, it is a part of the power amp section of the amp. Don't touch him. To set the level of your amp, you have to use this knob, the level knob, not the master volume knob. Because if you work on the master, also the sound change for the physical reason, because the master replicate exactly the behavior of the master of the amp. And you know, on the real amp, when you if you play with the master to 0.2 is completely different than that play with the master to 3, 4, 5, and so on. So let's say the master in the default position, okay, and touch the level knob to set up the level. The level should be, for my opinion, a bit over the 0 dB. And you can keep this panel always active to check if the level is correct. Okay, very useful. So there are two ways to create this the different sound. Let's start for the simple way that you have, where you have the clean channel of amp with the single channel amp, and you create your distortion with the drive. So the drive is put over the amp in this position. Okay. I love so much the compulsion distortion HP drive, because the sound of this drive is, to me, is amazing. And you can check yourself if it is best. It is the best to use the driver on the clean channel, or to use the distortion channel of the amp. It's up to you, of course. But I show you the sound of this drive. Okay, I love so much. Of course, you can use any drive. Also, I have in the channel C, for example, I can use a rat distortion. And you can decide which drive you can use. For example, the fast booster. Okay, so you can select the drive you want, but take care and pay attention that the possibility of to use the channels. The channels, it is very, very useful to create your scenes, because for the live rig, what is really important is not the presets, because okay, if you want, you can change the preset in your song, but the preset as a problem. To changing the preset as a problem, you know, Fractal need to upload every preset change, all the configuration, and this means that you have let's say a gap in the audio, so there is a moment where the audio stop to work. If you tolerate and if you have no problem with that, you can change the preset. Usually, when you are playing a clean, okay, for the rhythm part, and you have to pass to the lead, I prefer to have no gap between. So, first of all, using the scenes, it is mandatory. Scenes means that you have within the preset you can change 8 scenes. Scenes means different status of the rig. So some okay, maybe we are again online. Let me check. That seems okay. Yes. Let me check. Yeah, okay. Okay, sorry. There was a problem on the connection. So, typical. So, okay. I recover my discussion when I was speaking about the scenes. So the important to use the scenes. Every scene means a status of your sound. So, for example, in the scene number 3, I have the clean. Clean to me means okay. Compressor is on, the amp is on, cabinet and amp, of course, are always on, and also reverb are on, is on. So, and I save this scene that I call clean. Then I create the second scene is my rhythm or crunch as you want, and my rhythm part is composed by the drive is on in the compulsion distortion. I like to keep the compressor, in this case, always on. I usually let the compressor on when I use this configuration, so with clean channel and the drive. And also I use a delay. a bit of delay to create an ambient for the rhythm part. To me, it's really important to use the channels for all effect to change the mix and the amount of delay of the effects itself. For example, in these scenes, I use the channel B. In channel B, I use the input gain to 16.5. In channel A, I change the input gain to 32, so I have more delay. Why I use the input gain instead to use the level, okay, or mix? Okay, mix not because as I explained in the past, I like to use the delay in parallel. When I use the delay in parallel, I have to use the mix to 100%, so no dry signal pass to the delay. This is a typical configuration of 80 years when all ambient effects was in parallel. So the mix is 100%, the level is 0 at 0 dB, and I change the amount of delay with input gain. Why I do this? Because when I change the channel from B to A, I want to keep the volume of the delay before, okay, at the same volume. Otherwise, if I change the channel and I change the level, in the new channel, I have a decreasing. I have the volume decreasing of the tails, the trace of the delay. This is the reason that I prefer to change the input gain instead to change the level. Okay, I hope this is clear. I already explained this in the past. Okay, and of course you can check yourself. So this is the rhythm part. Okay, and the scene number 1 is the lead. Sorry, I have some effects on. What is the difference with the lead? There is the same drive. Okay, you can change the drive. There is, of course, the amp remain the same. Okay, the delay change from channel A to B, so I have more delay because with the lead I like to have more delay, and I change the scenes level, okay, to 1.5 2 dB to increase the volume of this scene. So I tweak the volume of the scenes using the output block scenes level. Okay, so. So you can feel the delay. Less delay, more delay. And when I change the scenes, you don't feel any change in the delay before. This is the reason that I only touch the input gain. If I change the level, you can feel the difference. There is a gap between two channels. Okay. I just arrived. Will be able to watch back later after the stream is over. Yes, you can. The live stream will remain available for to see again. Of course. So this is the main three scenes that I use for my live gig, and now I want to show you how I connect these scenes with FM3. So to do this, I change my camera. Okay, this is FM3. Typically I use the since number 1 is on foot switch number 1, since number 2 on foot switch number 2, and foot switch number 3. Very, very easy. I show you also the okay, so you can see how the scenes change when I press. Okay. To do this, you should already know, you go to the foot switch controller, FM3, lead. On the foot switch number 1 there is the lead, on the foot switch number 2 there is the rhythm, and the clean, it is on the foot switch number 3. Okay. Then I like to use a configuration on my FC6, okay, to switch on and off the effects. I like to have to be free during my live gig on a special scene for the clean. Okay, I would like to switch on the chorus, the phaser, the tremolo, to switch off the delay and so on. For this reason, I use my FC6, okay, and I show you what is the configuration. So I select the layout number 2, okay, and this is I'll show you larger, and this is the configuration of the FC6. As you can see, I assign the chorus on the foot switch number 4, delay number 5, tap tempo and tuner on number 6, okay, tremolo on foot switch number 1, phaser on foot switch number 2, and drive on foot switch number 3. Typically, I like to use the per preset override, so I can change the configuration of the FC6 depending of the preset. It is very useful to me, so I prepare on the pre-preset configuration all the foot switch I need, all the foot switch configuration. For example, this is the configuration for the chorus, for the delay, for the in this case tremolo, for the drive, and for the phaser, independently of the position. The first step is to create this foot switch. Then I override the configuration of the layout 2. In this case, it is my choice, but you can do what you want. And you can decide where you place or fix the switch. In this case, chorus and delay, because they are always present in every layout, they are fixed. So I don't assign these effects on the with the per preset foot switch. Also the tap tempo. So the upper row is always the same in all layout. The lower row is change depending of the preset. So in this case I use the tremolo, phaser, or drive, but in some cases I use different configuration, and so on and so on. I would like to show you one important thing. So in every effect, I use the tap function to activate and disactivate, to bypass the effects. And all the function I use the toggle functionality, and this functionality I love so much, this functionality, because I use also for the scenes. I will show you later on, because let me to change two different channels of every effects, and to increase the possibility to change the configuration and the sounds during my live gigs. So, for example, on the chorus, I can select on and off, but also if I press and hold the chorus, I can change from channel A to channel B, and I have always two possibility, two different effects with the same in the same two different channels in the same effects. And this is very flexible and very useful during the lives. So I show you, for example, I am on the clean sound, okay, and I wanted to activate the tremolo. Tremolo is, I show you, is here. In this case, tremolo is the pan tremolo. It is this tremolo. This is the reason because it's put after the amp, because the sound is panned left right. If I press and hold the tremolo foot switch, I change to channel A. Please look these the channels of the tremolo. I go to channel A, where the rate ratio is more, is up to 4 Hz. Very useful. The same is for the phaser. I show you the phaser. If I press and hold, I change it to channel B, where there is the fast vibe. So I select two different phaser effects. One is block 90 on channel A, typical Van Halen sound, and the same with chorus. I show you chorus. I have channel A. In this case, what changes the mix level. And delay. This is the less delay for the rhythm part. So in every effect I have the possibilities to bypass the effect, but also to change from different effects. So you can increase the combination of different effects. For the drive is very useful. I will show you the drives. The drive, sorry. So in the channel, typically is on the channel A, I have the esoteric ACB, for example. So I change different drive, and all different drive, different setup of the drive, and so on. So the combination are absolutely amazing, and you can do what you want during the live gig. So let's come back to the scenes selection with the FM3. So I say with this one I select scene number 3, the clean channel. So foot switch number 2, I select the Okay, so there is another possibility, very interesting, because in this case I can recall only 3 scenes, but there is a very convenient configuration I would like to show you on layout. On layout number 1, where I show where every foot switch has the toggle functionality also. So in this case, I can select 2 different scenes depending if I press the foot switch 1 time or the second time. So the primary scene is scene number 1. If I press a second time, I recall the scene number 4. This is very, very useful. So in this case, I have 3 foot switch, but I can select 6 scenes. So you can see here what's happened. I show you the FM3. So this is scene number 3. If I press again, I go to scene number 6 and I select the clean. In this case, I call clean plus plus, where I also activate the chorus. And if I press again the foot switch, I come back to the scene number 3. So I can alternate these 2 scenes very convenient. And the same is for the scene number 2, the foot switch number 2. In this case, I recall the scene number 5. That what is the difference? The difference it is in the amp. So in this case, I don't use anymore the drive on the clean amp. I use the Aerored Modern distortion channel. So I can alternate 2 different sounds between. Since number 2 is clean amp, the Siva clean plus the drive. The scene number 4, it is the alternative scenes. It's number 5. You can select the scenes you want, of course. It is the Aerored channel. So I change the channel of the amp. So it is a different approach to the sounds. So in the first case, I use always the same amp, but of course I can change the amp. And the same on the lead. So you can see how flexible is the system and how many combinations you can do. For example, if I want to stay with the same amp, I can, for example, on the scenes number 5, I select again the clean amp, silver clean, I enable the driver, the comp driver, I enable the compressor, I create the same scenes of the rhythm part, and I switch the phaser, okay, and also the chorus, for example, the channel B, so there is less chorus, and so. I save these scenes. So to come back to scene number 2, I press again the foot switch number 2. So you can see here. Okay, let me check one thing so that I am to be sure that something changed. No. Okay. So, okay, this is correct. Marco, do you use a Q or auto cue in amp block or the live preset? You can check yourself here. I don't use anything, and I don't use any global EQ. Only level. And on setup, I don't use equalization. I don't use typically don't use any global EQ because I make a longer research to check and to match the amp with the cabinet in the proper way. I work a lot to find out the proper impulse response and the proper settings for the impulse response. So you typically I don't use I don't need to use the global EQ on my sound. And when I go to the mixer, the sound engineering don't touch anything about the equalization. Let the channels in flat mode and set up only the level. Okay. Well, I can do the same with the lead, or no, we can let the lead as it is. Ok, perfect. Ok, ciao Edo's backstage. Ciao Edo. I'm Garden. You from Garden? I'm Garden. Io from America. Grandi suoni, grande Edo. So che stai suonando, grandissimo. Ho visto palchi fantastici, Red Rock fantastico. Ti invidio tutta la vita. Grande. Well, another hints that I wanted to show you is this one. Most of you has a problem to use the volume pedal and wah pedal in the same situation. You have only one change, or use two pedals, or use a pedals with a toe switch. But typically the fractal pedal has no toe switch. So I found this solution very interesting to me, using this block. This block is the multiplexer. What is multiplexer? Multiplexer, it is a block that select the row for the input you decide depending of the channel. So you can see here on scene number the number 1, I select scene number the block. Sorry, I select the channel B of this multiplexer, and on channel B, the stereo input motor, I select the input from the row 3. Row 3 means here this row, and in this row there is the wah. Okay. If I select the rhythm part, I change the channel to A, and I select the row 2. In the row 2 there is the volume. So when I use the channel A or channel the clean, the signal path is this. So go from the compressor to the volume to the multiplex. I assign the pedal 1 of my FM3. Okay, I create this curve because it's more comfortable to tweak the volume. And you can see the wah is on, because wah is also assigned to the pedal 1, okay, with the auto engage. So if I move the pedal, I activate the wah, but there is the multiplexer that select only the row number 2, and the wah doesn't work. Okay, when I go to the scene number 1, the lead, because on the lead I want to use the wah, okay, I select the row number 3. So you can see the difference, row number 2, row number 3. Okay, when I select the row number 3, the path, the volume is bypassed, and the signal go to the wah, and if I go to the same scenes but with the channel A, I have the path go to the volume, and I only use the volume. So it's pretty simple, and it's very flexible. So you can decide with scenes activate the volume, and with scenes activate the wah. But there is a trick, very important, guys. This is very important to know, because what's happened if you have the volume at the maximum, okay, you can see here the wah switched off, because the auto engage functions works in a different way. Typically, the wah is deactivated when the pedal is down. But in this case, I have to use in opposite. So I practically switch off the wah when the pedal is up. Why this? Because if I don't do this, what's happened? To deactivate the wah, okay, I have to. I show you in a practical way. To deactivate the wah, the pedal has to be down, okay? This is the volume. What's happened when I am in this position with the pedal deactivated? Okay, if the pedal is deactivated and I change the scenes, the volume is 0 because this work with the volume. And this is the reason that I want to deactivate the wah only when the pedal is up. I hope I was clear. It's not easy to understand, but it is easy to understand. So to do this, the off value has to set up to the 95%. In this case, the auto engage works only when the pedal is over the 90% of this value. So I can switch off the wah when the wah is at the maximum, and I switch the scenes without affect the volume status. Okay. Did you understand? If you have questions, of course, I'm here. Okay, was clear? So I want to show you how many sounds that I can create with this configuration. And look my feet, and I will have I give you a panorama of the sounds that I can get. Starting from the clean channel. Okay, so I gave you an overview of how many sounds you can get from the same preset and how you can organize your rig during the live. I think that with the scenes, you have 8 scenes. You can, of course, you can set up your, for example, your FC6. You can change the layout to change all the scenes. In this case, I recall the layout number 3. I show you here. The layout number 3 is here, where I recall all the scenes. So I have the first 3 scenes here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and always tap tempo and tuner here. This is a possibility. Or I can select the looper if I have had a looper. So typically I change the layout depending if I want to use all the scenes or I want to select the effects one by one, and also to have the possibilities to change the channel of single effect. What I recommend you is when you change the scenes to avoid to use the the press and hold, or you have to take care about this. I show you. This is really important, because when you activate the hold functionality, okay, the trigger of the functions is done when you leave the foot switch, not when you press the foot switch. For these reasons, you can have the feeling that the FM3 is in delay to activate the scenes, but it's not a delay. It is the fact that the scenes change only when you leave the foot switch. Leave or lift. Okay, I don't remember. For this reason, I suggest you to use to recall the scenes, to use only the tap function, and to use the toggle function to change the scenes and alternate two scenes. Okay, but if you want, of course, you can also use the hold and increase again the possibility to change the scenes with double functionality of tap and hold on the foot switch. Okay, I don't see any questions, so I don't know if everything is clear or the tutorial was not so interesting. Maybe yes, because maybe my English is not so good to follow, so I'm sorry for this, but I want to give you some information how to use the FM3 for the live gig, because I use in this way, and my feeling is very good to use with these options. Okay, so no questions, and thank you very much for your attention. If you want, please put a comment, or if you have any question, put the question below the video, and I will answer you later on. So thank you so much, and see you for the next tutorial. Okay, let me check if there are. Okay. There are some problems, sorry. Okay. Let me check. Okay. Thank you.